So you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right. So why don't we just all sit up straight and try to get the spine straight and the shoulders down and relaxed. And feel your body. See if you can feel your spine from your tailbone all the way up to your neck. And if you could, reach through the crown of your head, so as if you're reaching your head up towards the ceiling. Feel your spine elongate. And as you hold your spine straight, start to feel your breath move from your nose to your throat, down along your spine. See if you can bring it all the way down into this pelvic region, or down all the way to the tailbone. And on the exhale, just feeling the breath go back up the spine and then right out the throat, right out the nose. And all we're doing right now is we're settling in to feel where we're at, to finding our base, so that when we do these breath practices, we can recognize where we started and where we've ended up. Give you an appreciation for how powerful breath is. And allow yourself to settle. Feel yourself, your crown of your head reaching up towards the ceiling. Feel how the space within your chest down to your navel is opening as you stretch up. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with 3 different physical postures. So we're tying breath in with physical movement. And one of the reasons we add physical movement is very often what I find the stresses that we hold in our body tend to take physical form. And breath will eventually release it, but breath and movement together, and specific movement located in particular parts of the body, can help open those areas up. So the first one I'd like to do is we're going to take our hands, and the best way to do this is take your knuckles and try to put your knuckles on your shoulders. So what this does is this makes sure is that your elbows are up high, and you're just going to turn left, inhale, right, exhale. And you can just do it gently. Inhaling left, exhaling right, allowing your spine to be relaxed as you do this. And feel the nice gentle twist that's taking place. Make sure your inhales are full as you come left, and your exhales are complete as you go right. And we want to do this for about a minute or so. It's gentle, and we're just opening up the body, almost as if we're wringing out the spine. Keeping the knuckles on the caps of your shoulders so your elbows are raised high. And notice as you continue where your body is releasing, and also where it may still be holding tension. Not forcing anything here, just gently breathing and moving, finding the rhythm. All right, deep inhale, center. Go ahead and suspend your breath. You can bring your hands down to your lap. Eyes are closed, and you can slowly exhale. Go ahead and feel your body. A little bit of movement, a little bit of breath. All right, so go ahead, open your eyes. Could you feel as you were doing this, the spine is moving like this? It's not a movement that we do very often in life, but most people have so much tension built up in their spine just because we're at desks or we're not stretching in these ways. So it's just a nice way of opening up the spine in a gentle way. The deep inhale, bringing breath all the way down. The deep exhale, exhaling completely. And could you feel the body slowly release as you continued? Excuse me, I got both of you on mute. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel the place where I had a lot of mobility and the place where I had less, and I could feel them. I could feel the place where I had less beginning to sort of move a little bit. I could feel that place more. I could feel the place of less mobility more as we went through the exercise.
Yeah, you can kind of feel it's like an anchor and you're moving around it, but it slowly starts letting go, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the purpose of a lot of these postures. It's to open those places up, but more so, because we're breathing, because the mind's quiet, and because we're moving in a, a pretty stationary way. We're not super dynamic. It's like we can focus on an area and we can actually start becoming super aware of where we hold that we don't. I don't know if you knew you had tension in that space ahead of time,
Yeah.
but now you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a lot of the exploration of these postures, is that as you watch these, particularly these gentler postures, you start recognizing where you hold, and that's the place that you need to do your work. For some reason, that's a place that emotions or tension or misalignment or something of that nature is. And when we can open that up, then we just have a little bit more space to do what we want to do and what we need to do. So, how about you, Nikki?
It felt really good. I didn't go to the chiropractor today, so it felt good. And yeah, it was really interesting. I felt like the thoracic part was loosening, and I felt like the tension was kind of actually like being pushed up,
Yeah.
So
this is a great thing to do. A lot of people don't know about this stuff, but like what we were talking about, Nikki, is before you work with a client, this is a great thing, super simple, that you're getting them to breathe, and that will relax them, but you're also releasing their body in a way, and they don't really know what you're doing. They just feel the effects. Right? So we're
so
gonna go ahead.
you said do that for like a minute.
Yeah, a minute is okay. What I find is that 2 minutes is ideal.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is most people settle in about 40 seconds to a minute, and then they start getting a rhythm the second minute. And then
Cool.
that's when they really start dropping in and releasing. That's when the body starts letting go.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so the next one is a little bit more vigorous. I'm gonna move my camera a little bit back. And this is a really great one for the heart center and the solar plexus. And this, you know, solar plexus being a place where, you know, sometimes we hold tension, you know, there's like a lot of anxiety there. The heart center, you know, just a really protective place. So two wonderful places to really open up so that we can really get the sensation of, you know, the body and the freedom associated with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to interlace the hands like this. And it's almost like we're holding a hammer. And we're letting this hammer come all the way down to our knees. That is the exhale. This is the inhale. So it's like this. It's exhale. And you'll see my upper body is moving with the movement. My arms are staying straight. Notice they're coming up level with my ears. I'm going to feel a compression between my shoulder blades as I do this. And then it's a really powerful breath. You ready?
Which is
Yeah.
the inhale?
What's that?
Is the inhale up or down?
Yeah, inhaling up because you're opening up the chest, and then exhaling as you come down, almost like you're striking something, and the power of the strike is exhaling.
Okay.
All right, and we're going to do this probably a minute and a half. Get a little bit of, let me set my alarm clock or timer here. All right, so interlace your hands, arms out straight, inhaling up, exhaling down. Trying to keep those arms as straight as possible. Feeling the shoulder blades pinching as the arms come up, a compression at the back of your heart center. Big inhales as you come up, powerful exhales as you go down. Inhale up, hands overhead. Go ahead and suspend your breath. And as you suspend your breath, go ahead and pull your pelvic floor up. And the way to do that is to squeeze the buttocks and to pull the belly gently in. Slowly exhale. Bring your hands down to your knees. Eyes are closed. That one moves a lot of energy. Really opens the upper chest and back and solar plexus. Just connecting to your breath, feeling the breath moving through your body. Noticing how that breath differed from the first one we did, which was the spinal twist. And let's go ahead and open our eyes. what was your experience from that one?
I liked it. Um, yeah, it did feel a lot more powerful.
Mm,
You know, there's a lot more energy in the whole movement.
mm,
Um, and it just felt good to get the energy moving.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's almost like it's, you know, I find this powerful exhale down. It's a movement down, but also because you're exhaling, the navel comes in kind of sharp. So what it does is it starts moving a lot of the stillness or the tension that is held in the abdominal area and allows it to start moving through the body and in a way that I think it's meant to, you know, going from the navel back up and around, right? Joe, how about you?
Yeah, it you know, as you described that, I definitely had the sense of that. It's powerful. It has a flow to it that I felt in that way. It's also for me, it's familiar. It's a familiar feeling to have that sort of um, in essence core strength. You know, and we can call it muscular strength or structural strength or energy strength or um, I that is familiar to me. The thing that happens on sort of a structural level with that exercise, which I like, is that it really engages my edges of, you know, my edges of aches. You know, I carry my aches around in my body. I work out, and I have my hips are, you know, I carry achiness in there, and my shoulder, this shoulder especially, but both of these shoulders, just with the exercises that I do on a daily basis and how I do them. And it brought me right up to those edges immediately, and then able to sort of, you know, like grease the wheel. There, that breath was greasing those wheels, those ball joints. In essence, they're greasing those ball joints. Yeah,
And
I
that's what
like that.
I think that's what's nice about all of these rhythmic movements. Notice that none of them are trying too hard. And because we go over a certain period of time, it is actually like you're saying, it's either from a muscular standpoint, the muscles like this, and we slowly start moving it like this until it releases, or like you're saying, it is even like a ball and joint type thing, where we just start moving this and getting, you know, moving through the body. So, very cool, very cool.
So I have a question. So with these um, different breathing techniques, is there like still the certain like time frame, like 1 to 2 minutes is like a good.
I'd say 1 to 3 minutes. If you're more
Mm,
practiced, 3 minutes. I find if you're new, 1 minute is good. Some people, you'll be surprised, the nervous system is so shot that 1 minute is very challenging for them. People that tend to be in okay shape, 2 minutes is good. 3 minutes might start challenging them a bit, you know, build up a big heat. And then people that have done this for a while, you just like anything, you learn how to relax into it so that it's very efficient. In 3 minutes, like what we were talking about, Nikki, you know, before Brian came on, you know, that square breath for 5 minutes, like
mhm.
it goes like that, right?
Right, right.
The same thing as with this. These are, you know, these are forms of physical and breath oriented meditations. And when you can really drop into the rhythm and feel your body, the meditation will take away and minutes will just, you know, peel away.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do one other thing. And this is really simple. I really like this because I know a lot of us hold tension up in this area, but we don't really take a lot of time to investigate this area. And that's what I see all of this practice is about, is investigating, knowing where we hold tension. This is a really great posture, you know, to just help people relax and release. So go ahead and let your right ear drop to your right shoulder and really let it drop. You know, don't pull back at all. And feel the pull from your left ear down along your neck. And then go ahead, take your left shoulder and pull it down. All you need to do, go ahead, close your eyes and breathe in this posture. And feel the different muscles that are activated for you. And then what you can do is you can bring your head, roll it about an inch or two forward, and then go ahead and roll it inch or two backwards. So you're really still keeping the head, the ear towards the right shoulder. You're still pulling the left shoulder down. But now you're adding a little bit of dynamic movement. So it's moving between the different muscles in the shoulders, and the trapezius, along the neck. And if you haven't done this before, you know, it's interesting to watch the body and to feel the different strands of muscles, some of them loose and some of them a little bit tighter. You might even find a little ball of muscles that's kind of your trigger spot. And then you can allow your head to come forward and let your head come all the way forward, and the same thing, let your head come all the way forward so your chin is pulling towards your chest. Pulling both shoulders down, and then go ahead and roll your head to the left and to the right. Paying attention to your shoulders and your neck. Feeling where you hold, and also feeling those places slowly release. Make sure you're breathing as you do this, taking a deep inhale and a slow exhale. Then go ahead, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And just let your head hang. Go ahead and bring your right shoulder down. So you can feel a beautiful pull along the right side of your neck, all the way down to your shoulder blade. You can move your head forwards and backwards. Still pulling that right shoulder down. You can go ahead and let the head roll all the way back. Let it fall all the way back as far as you can. And then rotate your head to the left and right. And then you can go ahead and allow yourself to rotate your head around left or right as far as you'd like, taking your time. Feeling the places where there's tension. You're finding that place within your neck that you hold your tension. And in those moments where you find those, stop in that place and go back and forth, opening that space up a little bit. And go ahead and come all the way up. Take a nice deep inhale. Pause for a moment. Eyes are closed. Stay inside and now feel your neck and your shoulders. So we've opened up the spine by twisting. We've opened up the solar plexus and the heart by doing the hammer breaths. And we've opened up the neck and the shoulders by doing neck rolls and neck stretches. All of them combining in a different type of breath, some gentle and some powerful. Let's go ahead and take a deep inhale and open your eyes. And exhale. And what do you think? How was that?
You know, my felt sense out of that is there's more strength and more, and that sense of strength is coming from the fluidity of how I feel throughout my spine and throughout the chest and solar plexus. I also like I have a chronic muscle strain in my lower trapezius, or maybe it's the serratus, but somewhere along the shoulder blade down on the right side. And that pain is still there, right? Like that ache is still there, whatever it is, that pull is still there. But I have more, I have more, I don't know, strength in it. I have more, it feels like I'm on top of that pain. Like I'm on top of that it's not limiting me. It's just sort of there. If that makes any sense.
I agree. You know, I think what happens is when we have a knot or a pain like that, either we ignore it or we protect it.
Yeah.
Right. And when we engage it, it's just like what they say is, you know, step into your fears and you'll find out, you know, they're not to be feared.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The same is true with the body. You know, the body's holding different types of emotions or different types of strains or different types of injuries. And if we access them in gentle ways, but really purposeful ways, you get to engage it and make a deeper relationship with that part of your body. And when you make that relationship, you know, making a relationship with your physical body is no different than making a relationship with your mental or emotional body. Right? They're all interlaced. They all interplay with each other. So I find breath is nice because it's gentle, but the physical body, if I can make a relationship there, I think we all know there's places that we hold our emotions. So it's a really great access point. It's a very tangible access point. But if we ignore our emotions, we tend to ignore our body too, because that's where emotions show up. Right?
Yeah. No, and that makes perfect sense. That's really well said, actually.
Yeah.
That hits home for me.
And it's an interesting game that we're playing here. You know, the work we're doing is about awareness and about being more present. And everybody's really excited about being awake and aware out in the physical world so I can understand and see more. But you really can't understand the physical world and the external world very clearly unless you really understand yourself clearly.
Yeah.
Because this is where all the signals and information is coming through. This is where all the biases and the resistances lie. So, you know, as soon as we can start making these connections and releasing, and like you said, Joe, offer a level of fluidity so that I'm feeling, but I'm not grabbing, right? I'm just moving and I'm sensing in the moment what's needed. I know you like sports and you know that feeling when you're doing a sport and you're in that zone. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I live down here in Huntington Beach, and this is why, you know, people give their lives over to surfing, because that feeling of being on a wave and being free, and you can only surf a wave in the moment, right? So you got to be present. So the sport causes people to be in the present moment, balanced but strong, and it ends up being this really beautiful balancing act that it, for some reason in the rest of our lives seems to be a very difficult thing to capture. Seems like it's easier to get off balance and stay out of balance, right? So
Yeah.
as much as we can find where we're out of balance in our body and we're holding that imbalance, it really is often the access point to find out where we're off emotionally and mentally and maybe even energetically, which is more, you know, the deeper stuff.
Mhm.
So you want to try one more breath?
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay. We're gonna try one first, which is called breath of fire. And it's an energizing breath. I just want to get you're not getting your oxygen levels up, you're dropping your CO2 levels. And the reason we're doing that is the next breath after this is going to be a pattern breath that is a little challenging, but it's really beautiful, as we talked about last time we met, about how patterns can create rhythms in the body and start synchronizing the different layers of our being, mental, emotional, physical, and energetic. So breath of fire is, imagine the way I always do it is imagine you're a dog in a hot summer day and you're panting, but you're panting through your nose. So your navel, you'll feel your navel going in on the exhale. Go ahead and close your eyes and feel the rhythm of your navel. The navel's going in on the exhale, out on the inhale. Allow yourself to relax into this breath. And this is a cleansing breath. It's an energizing breath. All right, deep inhale. Now you got plenty of oxygen, so go ahead and suspend your breath. Relax your shoulders. Pull your eyes up to your brow. And just relax into your breath suspension. Let yourself float there for a moment. Feel the effervescence of this breath. And then slowly exhale. Another deep inhale. And then exhale. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go right into the other breath. And the other breath, this is a segmented breath. And it's 16 inhales. So it's segmented breath. So it's little inhales to a full breath of air. So if you broke your breath up into 16 little parts, it's like blowing up a balloon. So it's inhaling 16 times, and then it's exhaling 16 times. So it's and at the top, you can pause for a second and then exhale 16 times. Exhaling to a complete exhale after the 16th, and then inhale, small little inhales. Pausing at the top, and then exhaling. Really let yourself go. Trust the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. And just finish up your last round. On your last inhale, suspend your breath for a moment. And then exhale. Connecting to your breath. Staying in your body. If you have difficulty staying in your body, just follow your breath down into your body. And let's open our eyes. So you experienced a bunch of different breaths. How was that one for you? What was that experience? Two breaths, the breath of fire.
Coming out of that breath, the breath of fire was, it's hard to remember. The breath of fire was, it was sort of grounding, actually.
Mm.
And it brought energy forward, but not in any sort of really strong way.
Mhm.
And then moving right into the broken breaths, that one, the first thing that came to my mind as we were closing that breath down was it was like a palate cleanser for my nervous system.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel very clean. I feel very available, open.
I feel it right now. I feel very light.
Yeah.
Right in this area, and this area. And
Mhm.
that's the wonderful thing of this is, we're working at this, we're working at the muscular, the skeletal, the nervous system, the cellular level. We're lurking, I think a big part of this is the glandular system. We're turning the glandular system on. Whereas when we're active and in the world, our sympathetic nervous system is on, our adrenal glands are usually fired up a little bit. There's a little cortisol in our body. And now all of a sudden we add a rhythm, and now our body gets to settle, and the sympathetic and parasympathetic start dancing between each other a little bit more balanced. And there's a neurochemical, there's a hormonal expression of that. So Nikki, how about you?
What I experienced was like a lot more trust in my body, you know, the because it's controlling your oxygen and your CO2. You know, it's controlling both of those in different ways.
Mm.
And it's like having that trust that you know,
You can
it's
do it.
that what?
That you can do it.
Well, yeah, like it's yeah, it seemed easier because I think like in the beginning, like as a novice of doing, you know, breath work, you sometimes you get to the bottom of an exhale and you have to like feel like you have to gulp in.
Yeah.
But like in doing these breaths and these sequences, it was like having that trust, like, oh, I don't need to gulp in, I don't need to, you know,
Yeah.
like so it was cool.
And that's the reason why we did the breath of fire first. That gulping in is not that you don't have enough oxygen, it's that your CO2 levels have increased.
Mm.
So your blood has become more acidic, and that's the feeling of. So what we do is we get all the CO2 out of your body, so that inflection doesn't happen. It can happen if you do that, if you do that 16 inhale, 16 exhale for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You might build up some CO2 and you might start challenging yourself towards the end of the exhale.
Mm-hmm.
But you could feel we had such little CO2 in our body because of that breath of fire that when you start that 16 breath inhale and exhale, it just is quite fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if you didn't do that, it would have been a lot more challenging. So what we do is we layer these breaths in a way that it helps, if you're teaching someone this, they don't know what's happening. They just feel the effects, and they, like you said, they feel calmer going in. It's not as challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Joe, the breath of fire is really pulsating the navel. So you're really connecting to your core. So you're feeling more solid in a very grounded way, which adds to the experience.
Cool.
So, good. Glad you felt these different breaths, and you can see each breath does something a little bit different. Some can move energy, some can calm us out, some can activate certain parts of the body, some can, that last breath, I find what it does, because we're doing 16 inhales and 16 exhales, you have to be kind of very in tune with the body. And there's this natural thing that happens that as you're doing these 16 inhales, I don't know if you noticed towards the end of it, you were getting pretty good at that 16th inhale. You were at a pretty full breath of air. And at the end of the exhale, you were pretty much at the end of your breath. So what you start doing is you start getting super attuned to your lungs and your body and your capacity. Just because you're doing the exercise, but through doing the exercise, you're connecting to your body and your awareness of the body. And that's one of the most powerful aspects of this, is that when we're disembodied, we're coming back, connecting to the body, and now all of a sudden the experience is wonderful. Add a rhythm to that, it becomes super wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super awesome. I'm loving this breathwork stuff that you're bringing to us.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. Well, what I'll do is I'll slice this video up at Nikki, and I'll take the front end off, and
Okay.
we'll put it online so it's accessible. So if you need to go back and learn any of these breaths, or also if you ever have any questions, hey, I need a breath to do this, or I'd like to have this type of experience. Like I said, thousands of breaths, and there's usually a breath that can really help. I've been working with a bunch of people. One of the things that I noticed, and we're going to talk about this next time we do this, is one of the things I notice is most of us don't do complete exhales.
Hmm.
And the breath is in the exhale. If you completely exhale, you'll do a really good inhale. But if you do a big inhale, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do a complete exhale.
Right.
Go ahead and try that. Pull your navel in towards your belly, towards your spine as far as you can. And then just let it relax, and you'll feel a big inhale. So some of these breaths are set up such that they're meant to force a really powerful exhale. And what it does is when we're holding on, part of the reason why we don't do a complete exhale is that we're holding tight. Like, I don't want to let go. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little anxious. I'm holding on. And that's felt in the body, so that when we can do these breaths and force the body to really exhale and let go, there's a freeing experience, because that extra tension that's stopping the complete exhale is all of a sudden released and broken through.
Hmm.
So what we'll do is next time we'll work on some of those breaths. They're a little bit more powerful. They're a little bit more challenging of breaths. Kind of like what you were talking about, Nikki. They can cause you to cough a little bit because you're moving a lot of air in and out of your mouth. But within 2 or 3 minutes, you can really make a powerful shift in someone's state.
Well, all of these were like in through the nose and out through the nose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the exhales out of the mouth, those are the ones that are really powerful. The navel comes in towards the spine, and there's almost like a bouncing of the diaphragm that happens when we do that. So there's some really deep inner tension that's released. And well, we'll do it next time we meet, and we'll see what the experience is.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Good seeing you.
Yeah, Peter, thank you very much. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, feel free to reach out by text or anything if you have any questions. Okay.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good night.
Take care.
See you guys. Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.